The Vlogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal big footy rules still apply.
Alright, so this is a vlogcast for round 9. Fyfie joined by Ant.
G'day.
Dan.
Hello, Skittles.
Paddles.
Hey.
Teach.
Hello, hello.
And joining us for his first episode, we have Les Norton.
Good evening.
We need a special introduction for Les. Has anyone got a fanfare? No.
John Cena. What about John Cena?
Oh yeah. Dun 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 dun.
Oh, God.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
It sounds like he's doing an
Dun
off
dun
song
dun
again.
dun.
I would have preferred Hacksaw Jim Duggan, mate. What did he do?
Oh.
Woo!
Oh, so, yeah. What about
Jarrett Craven.
Oh.
I got no idea what you guys are talking about here.
They're talking about wrestling, I reckon, the
It's,
briefcase commissioner.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Snooker, Superfly Snooky.
Yeah.
Ravishing Rick Stein. Woo!
Alright, let's move on to something less gay than wrestling. The Sydney Swans.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Buddy had have kicked straight, there would have been a lot of red faces because he kicked 7 points before he kicked a couple of goals. So I reckon that he could have really pantsed the Hawks, but it didn't actually work out that way. But the rest of his teammates made it happen. And Penal's not here. Penal last week was just wanking so hard about how fucking good Hawthorn
everywhere.
were and how much we all need to worship them. And they got fucking pants by Sydney.
He would have blamed the ANZ Stadium for the loss.
No, the Swans were bloody good in the first half. I think at one stage it was 20 inside 50s to 4, and they just smashed us at every contest. The pressure. I haven't seen Hawthorn turn the ball over that often in quite a while. They were too good.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that result. I didn't expect it to happen, but maybe it's just a one-off. It's just home and away. But yeah, Sydney, we've been hanging shit on them for the last 3 or 4 weeks, but maybe we need to back off now.
I thought Buddy played a pretty good game, actually. He marked well. His kicking was shit, obviously, but
Yeah,
I
he
like
brought
the
his
irony.
driving form into his set shot kicking.
The
I think
irony.
the 2 goals 7 though is it's been a good thing for Bay 13 because Mothra's thread on how much he's costing per goal is staying on track.
But the fact he kicked 2-7 and Sydney won by 2-7 is quite bizarre in my opinion. But anyway,
Ooh,
You're saying he was the difference?
It's pretty
Well, he
spooky.
was. And I hated seeing him in a Sydney jumper. Really, for the first time, I wasn't really that worried about it prior to that, but no, I didn't like it.
Yeah, fair enough, Les. I understand what you mean. I mean, I hated seeing Gary Ablett in the Gold Coast jumper, but we won a premiership after Gary transferred to Gold Coast, so we got over it. So you need to win another premiership to get over Buddy. So
if Buddy wins the premiership for Swans, does that mean he can't get over it?
well, yeah, well, I
Or is
would,
that just rubbing it in?
yeah, I reckon that would be a massive ring sting there.
Anything else on Hawthorn Sydney?
It was actually a pretty good game. I thought it was a very good game from a spectacle. Yeah, I was very surprised at the outcome because I thought the big ground would suit Hawthorn. But, didn't work out that way.
And I suppose comment has to be made about Clarko's presser at the end too. I found it a little bit funny, but anyway.
Yeah. No, he said basically, you can tell that Harley used to play for Geelong the way he went after he called out the roughhead incident, and then one of the media went, "Oh, Dunsel said it as well." And he went, "Oh, really?" he was going to swing the fist at that guy who spoke.
He
You saw the wild eyes, didn't you, man? Oh yeah, the grin though was like, "I'm trying not to kill you."
Yeah, but the reporter didn't resemble a cardboard wall. And so he didn't charge him down and smash him in the face. And it wasn't just Dunstall, it was Lee Matthews as well said the same thing.
Well, Clarko it doesn't have to be a wall. It could be like a Carlton player looking the wrong way.
Yeah, or a junior football umpire.
Yeah.
Just one thing on Clarko. Have you ever noticed when he talks, he keeps his top lip completely still and he moves his bottom lip like a puppet? Check it out next time. It's quite funny.
Well, that's what Brad Scott does too. It must be a sulky thing. Anything else? Because that was probably the most significant game of the week.
Well, even without Mitchell and Hodge, I thought they would breeze through Sydney. I didn't see the result coming.
I don't think anyone did. I think last week we all picked Hawthorn.
Even after quarter time, I think we all expected that Hawthorn would come back and run away with it.
Our depth's being tested big time at the moment. And Cheney, I feel for Cheney. He's about 6'1". He's playing against 6'5" each week, and it's taking its toll.
As long as he keeps playing and he plays on Hawkins the next time we play, I'm happy.
He'll
I'm
eat him.
waiting for that.
So did anyone kick a bag on Sean Makers?
He had a couple of clangers. One shocker where he grabbed the ball in the goal square, defensive goal square, and just looked like a rabbit in the headlights and just ran, and you could see it from miles away. He was going to get caught, and yes, he got caught holding the ball. Goal to Sydney, and I just thought, oh shit, here we go. Don't go near the bay now.
But yeah, so we'll move on to the next game, which was Port versus Fremantle.
Yeah, I didn't see the game for myself, but the scoreline looks very suspicious. So
Well,
something's up with Port Adelaide.
they charged home late, and Chad Wingard just 5
He's a
goals.
jet.
He's a freak. He probably took mark of the year just about.
But he's come out of nowhere, hasn't he? I mean, it's a bit of a Joe Watson.
He's come out of nowhere. He was good last year. I mean,
All Australian.
I
That's
watched
the
that game.
come on, the joke.
Come on, this is a joke.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
He's dominating, and Matt White, he was all right at Richmond, but geez, he's having a great year there. It's a little bit suspicious as well.
It's suspicious how Pollock has started to actually show something at Port when he showed absolutely nothing with us as well.
No, I actually think that's the only thing that makes sense out of this whole thing. I thought Pollack was a gun at Port.
Jay Schultz was a fucking spud at Richmond, and all of a sudden, he's a superstar at Port. What's going on? There's something happening.
He's kicked
Very
15-0.
But on that game, it was actually a good game. I'm claiming the win on this one when I said last week it would be a good game because Port would drag Fremantle up, and they did for quite a bit of that game, but they were just better than them. Fremantle aren't that good, and did anyone else watch it?
I watched
Yeah,
bits of
I
it.
watched the whole
Watched
game.
about a half.
Did anyone catch Ross Lyon coming down to the bench to give Daniel Pearce a strong bake?
Yes, the water bottle.
Yeah.
But he basically said, harden up, and said something about his mother, and he started to cry.
Did he say that he would take his tiara away if he didn't harden up?
All I know is one of the corns has gone off on Facebook now about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty funny, though. He left the box, walked down to the bench to pick up a drink bottle and put it in Pearce's face as if to say,
Have a drink.
yeah, you're coming off the bench, you're sulking, are you tired kind of thing, Get a
Yeah.
drink and get back out there or something. Or maybe he was making a point, our drinks are full of water and theirs are full of God knows what. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Yeah, very demonstrative. You don't see that a whole lot. But Port were very good.
It was a great win by Port and expected it to happen. And they were challenged and they won.
Rio are gone.
Agreed. Let's move on to the Bryons versus the Scum.
Paddles.
We don't play Collingwood until round 21, but we did
No,
play with the cheat.
No, the Scum are Essendon. Everybody knows that.
Paddles, this was a game you should have won.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you were
should
I
have.
feel
the
bad
Scum.
for Brisbane. I
Why
really
couldn't
feel bad.
Why couldn't you beat the Scum, Paddles?
We didn't beat the Scum because we didn't play them, but we played
Yeah, well, yes, you did. Yes, you played the Scum. You played the drug-cheating Scum. So why didn't you beat them?
obviously the drug cheats just had more drugs than us. Disappointing that Joe Watson didn't go anywhere near my section because I wanted to absolutely give it to him.
You what?
In what way?
Yeah, that sounds a little bit.
What were you going to say to Joe, Paddles?
Oh, a lot of things. Just telling him to give Trent Cotchin and Sam Mitchell their Brownlows.
So he never ran anywhere near where you were.
Yeah, it's odd because I actually sit in the wing as well.
Well, no wonder you lost because he was in the corridor the whole time.
You just shepherded him onto the ball, Paddles. Bloody hell.
But yeah, Brisbane, that was just.
It was the last quarter, though. They kicked, 2 points, didn't they?
Oh, no, but they kept rebounding it, and they were on top of Essendon for the first half of that quarter, and they just couldn't put it on the scoreboard because they're just not that
That
good.
whole game just said a lot about both teams because Essendon, we all know they're on drugs, and yet Stanley just managed to beat us.
No, they're coming down at the moment.
One only thing I took out of that game was that horrible play-on decision. in the last there against Brisbane.
Actually, I would have to back the umpire on that because he handballed it after the whistle. But either way, they butchered so many chances going forward. They should have been more than 4 points up when Essendon kicked in late. And Essendon, this is a stat. This is 5 weeks in a row Essendon haven't hit the 10-goal mark. So I wonder if they're missing Cramry. Seems it.
Yeah, I mean, Carla hasn't really stood up, though. He had a couple of home truths on the Triple M interview after the game.
Yeah.
Who was the Brisbane player?
Some first-year player. You can't talk smack when you can't get a kick, surely.
Yeah, but what do you call him? He said
I reckon the Bombers.
Fuckwit or something, yeah.
I reckon the Bombers have got this head fuck going on because they haven't been able to resolve the Asada shit.
Don't tell Matty Lloyd that. See him on Footy Classified?
No, what did he say?
Oh, Caro came out and said that the whole Asada issue has screwed with the Bombers' minds and they're playing poorly for that. And he says, no, I've spoken to the players. And she said, well, that's just bullshit. And he said, so you're calling me a liar? And it was just good TV.
I thought he said she was calling the players liars.
The players a liar, sorry, yes.
Yeah, but Lloyd is too stupid to understand the subterfuge in that. He goes, what are you saying? I'm wrong.
Also, Brisbane's CEO's gone.
Yeah, Malcolm Holmes got the boot.
Yeah, Paddles. You spoke to him, didn't you? You were just like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, I actually had a pretty long conversation with him when I was in Wellington.
It's your fault there, Paddles. You lit the match, mate.
It's kiss of death.
You lit the match and he's gone now.
The AFL have seen that, that rabble-rouser Paddles was talking to him and they've just gone, he's making alliances with that guy. We can't.
Yeah, we've got to fuck him off.
I thought he quit.
Oh, he was pushed.
Yeah, he was pushed. But actually, in all honesty, Malcolm Holmes actually did seem like a decent bloke. But to be honest, as our next CEO, I'd like to get either Brendan Gale or Brian Cook.
You won't get either.
Fuck off. You're not having Brian Cook.
You can have Ian Robson.
They'll get Greg Swan.
What about Brian Waldron?
Yeah,
well, he knows how to cheat, so, get him up there.
He should be at Essendon.
I was about to say that, actually.
Anyway, we'll move on to Melbourne versus the Doggies. And, well, it was a pretty close game until the umpire decided to give Crameri a going-away present.
Yeah, I disagree with that one. I think
You disagree that wasn't a free kick?
No, well, hear me out, Teach. Shut up. That was a very frustrating game. I didn't get to go to the games. I had the misfortune of listening to BT cheer on Roosy's Demons all night. Pretty much the umpiring, which I'm going to go full plugger here and say umpiring was absolutely shithouse, and the stats back it up.
What did the neutrals on the main board say?
I'll quote Cram on the main board. He was pro the Doggies there as well.
He's done his research.
He's done his research, mate. But yeah, Melbourne did have the rub of the green all night. Yeah, the Cramry one was a bit technical, a bit soft, but it was there. But it doesn't counter out the other 24 free kicks Melbourne got that night. So it was a bit frustrating. And as to the game, I think we just made the best of our opportunities. When we had shots on goal, we kicked them.
Why are we even moaning about this game about 2-0 sides?
Get fucked.
I didn't even watch it.
But yeah, I was happy with the win. I thought the Liam Jones bump, there wasn't much in it, really. It was a bit of a split second.
Wasn't much in it. He fucking took him down. He took him down to Chinatown. And
he lowered his shoulder. The point of his shoulder hit the guy in the chin.
Yes.
So that's the thing, though. He chose to bump, and I guess.
Yeah.
No, I understand that you choose to. As soon as I saw it, I said that's 2 weeks. But to say it was a snipe was absolute bullshit. That's not a
snipe.
They were both going for the ball in a split second. He tucked his shoulder in and did the bump, and just because he's 100 kilos, he hit him pretty hard.
It was a bump, and
it was nothing on the Chapman or the Crow ones. Those were actually snipes.
I agree. It didn't.
So I was a bit dirty that he got the most weeks over that.
Roughheads wasn't a snipe either.
I don't think Roughheads was a snipe either, but I was a bit dirty on the fact that he got the 2 weeks when his was just a bump, where the others were legitimate hits, where they've gone after the player.
Lacroix got down to his on his good record of 8 years, which there is, I think, scope for that. But it was pretty bad, and he probably should have realistically got more.
He got off the fact that he's French.
Yeah, well, I noticed he surrendered straight away and just took the guilty verdict. But yeah, on the bump, we'll go to the bump because we didn't get a chance last week to discuss the Jack Viney fast because honestly, I didn't bring it up because I didn't think he'd get suspended. But eventually it got overturned in a massive clusterfuck. But what did we think of that?
Well, thank Christ they got turned over because that was just the worst decision I've ever seen and he didn't deserve to be suspended at all. And so, thank goodness, sanity prevailed.
Had that suspension held, he would have missed the game against Richmond, and even I still wanted him to get off because that was just absurd. And everyone thought so except the Adelaide supporters. Did anyone venture to the Adelaide board this week?
I did.
I didn't, but Tex Walker said that even that decision was a disgrace. And Adelaide players, so.
According to the Adelaide people, it was a Victoria-centric media bias against the Crows as to why everyone was sticking up for Viney and not Richard Douglas.
But that's just South Australians. They try to be relevant, but really they're not.
Viney apparently took the soft option by not tackling.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Just shit.
He tried to brace himself.
He could have pirouetted. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Is that not just designed for Jack Watts or Bryce Gibbs?
I would have accepted that he would have pirouetted. Unfortunately, he didn't have ballet shoes on. He had football boots on. So,
the only person who thought Viney's one was deserved was that flogged Damien Barrett.
what a dick is he. Fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, he thought Giers should get weeks as well.
Isn't that just a sign that, it's wrong with Damien Barrett thinks it's a good idea?
Oh, he's a sensationalist, though. He'll say the opposite to get
He's a douchebag.
North supporter. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Bloody North supporters.
Anything else on Melbourne versus the Dogs?
Go Doggies. Eat shit, Melbourne. Well, I was getting a little bit fired up with the amount of sooks on the Melbourne guys going, oh, the umpires robbed us. You had fucking 13 more free kicks to us. You had like 4 shots on goal from free kicks.
This is the same bunch of supporters that think that Tom Scully's the worst person on earth, even though Mitch Clark did the same thing.
I don't know why they're so bitter on Scully. I mean, there was a mistake when they picked him. He's got bad knees, and they got
more than he was worth.
Exactly. I mean, Callum Ward, hello. We should be dirty, not them. So in the end, 16 points. So it was good to get the win. So after a couple of disappointing weeks of losses, when we were in position to win and lost, so it's good to actually get the 4 points this time.
Melbourne might have actually got closer had Jack Watts played, but unfortunately he had prior commitments this week. He was over at Eurovision. He won, though. He won. So congratulations to the bearded woman.
Yay.
What the fuck's going on with that? That they let some tranny with a fucking beard win the Eurovision. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But was that the best song that was going around?
I didn't watch it.
I don't know. I think Anus Cat rigged the poll.
Probably, yeah.
We'll move on to West Coast once again doing the flat track bully thing against the Giants.
I watched a bit of the first
Giants,
quarter.
The Giants started.
The Giants started with the flood, didn't they?
Let's all speak at the same time.
Yes. I want to get in first this time because Teach always has his say. Fuck you.
Except when he's got to lay down something like bam, he waits till last. But,
well, I'm going to get on. I'm going to get on the fucking train now.
You don't need to get on a train. You just need to shut up.
I'll speak. I reckon the GWS are probably right now playing as bad as they have in their 3 years. That was dreadful the other day. Absolutely dreadful.
They're still a young side, though, so they're going to be up and down. And as Fyfie said, West Coast can be the flat track bullies on their home turf.
And it helps when Kennedy kicks 11 straight.
Yeah.
I am so happy for him. I mean, he gets a get out of jail card from Carlton and he blossoms into a star.
And the stutter step was back.
Was it?
He's always had it, though, hasn't he?
No, he got rid of it for early this season. He wasn't doing it.
Well, you go 11 straight shows the stutter works, man.
Yeah, just got to stick with the stutter. Do what comes naturally.
But he did a bit of a mix. He did a bit of a running gate and kicked a goal, and he mixed it up with a bit of the stutter step. But it was an absolute massacre. And Les was right, because GWS, they have crumbled. Their game plan and their plans have absolutely come apart, and they've been destroyed by the West Coast. They're facing a lot of bad weeks ahead.
Some of their defensive efforts were terrible. Absolutely terrible.
They were, you're right.
They've got a long way to go.
So did GWS have the 3 tolls in again? Did it work?
No, because Jeremy Cameron didn't make the trip because he's injured.
Cameron I could see working with them, but I don't see Patton and Boyd working in the same team.
No, I don't either, but they seem to think it'll work, but I can't see it.
Yeah.
They had Patton on Kennedy, didn't they, for a while?
Yeah, he's playing all right behind the ball. They might actually turn him into a centre-half back, even though he looks all right as a centre-half forward.
Well, they've got another 20 centre-half forwards in their team, haven't they?
They've got so many of them, it's ridiculous. They should trade one to Carlton for, well, I'd say for something, but Carlton don't have anything of worth.
Yeah,
but they really lost this game around the ball. So it wasn't about their forwards, it was about their ball winning, and they got smashed.
And who was it that took it out on the at the pub?
Toby Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of get out jail card, Toby Green had an interesting weekend. Got himself into a
Fisticuff.
He had a weekend in Nigeria. He's been charged with assault with a weapon, a fray,
Kicking,
Kicking.
assault by kicking, and yeah, knowing him, the kick probably missed the target.
He might not have hit his target with his head kicking.
He got done for lollygagging too.
Yeah, he went for the nose and he hit the ear. But if those things get proven, he's going to do jail time. And because he does
negligent.
everything, Dan.
Yeah.
He needs to get the lawyer that got Marley Williams to keep playing.
Yeah, well, he doesn't play for Collingwood, so he's going to go down if he gets found guilty. He'll go to jail.
Indeed.
Maybe he wants to be a firefighter though. I mean, that can always get off.
Well, I guess firefighters are a pretty good note to move on to Carlton. East Scotland didn't play, but, well, they won. And it was on a Monday night, but it wasn't on free-to-air.
Game, though. I mean, I was actually looking forward to watching this, and then while I was watching, I was like, this is crap. I don't want to see another Monday night football game again.
And how ridiculous is it? Not just the fact that it was a Monday night game, but if you're going to play a Monday night game, why would you play it in a round where there's only 6 games? It made Sunday basically football free for Monday night. If you're going to play Monday night, you put it on.
No, the reason they did Sunday basically football 3 was because Mother's Day. Every game they put on Mother's Day on a Sunday afternoon struggles to get the numbers. Doesn't matter if it's Collingwood Essendon, they'll get a reduced numbers. So that's trust me, being a Sunday afternoon team, it's one of the things I used to hate.
You're the expert.
I am an expert on shit time slots, and Mother's Day is a shit time slot, so that's why they've tried to experiment with Monday this week.
It was pretty rubbish, but the one highlight that I would take out of that game is Troy Menzel.
Yeah, he looks all right.
Brother of Daniel, and he looked fantastic.
But
Malthouse really needs to keep him as a sub, doesn't he?
Yes.
Well,
I can't believe he's a sub.
Well,
yeah,
pretty
there's
much.
a bit of silence then. You're supposed to splutter and say, what do you mean? It's not
Well, I could give a fuck about Cullen, but I mean, his brother Daniel, who plays for Geelong, I hope that he can come back later this year and be a gun because obviously both of the boys are fantastic footballers. So I'd love Daniel to get back and play well for Geelong, and Troy, he looked fantastic last night for Carlton.
What was
their
Daisy's
knees
numbers?
hold up?
Pretty poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, had 8 touches, 1 goal.
So how did that superstar Stanley go?
Oh, yes, Reece Stanley. Bloody hell. Is he...
I watched the game and they go to Fyfie every time. Why do they go to Revolt every time? I mean, you understand he's a superstar of the club.
Because they have no one else. They rely on Rewalt so much. And he's a great player. Let's face it.
The first couple of weeks, he won the game for them as well. So
yeah, he's the reason they've got the 3 games on the board, and they haven't started as shit as we expected. But the thing about Stanley is I'm surprised Carlton didn't pick Bootsma, because Stanley's the exact kind of opponent Bootsma could play on and gain some confidence just because Stanley's that fucking rubbish. Clangers would go all right on him as well.
yeah, you're
I
just
think
an
we spoke
assorted
about it
St Kilda
late
hater
last-
there, Fyfie.
I think we spoke about it late last year that
I voted in that Liam Jones poll too.
most of the top line
As
sides
did I.
have kept up with it, but St Kilda have just dropped off the map in the last few years.
Yeah,
The list is imbalanced, though.
yeah. Ross Lane left in a bad state. He picked a lot of list cloggers, and then once they start to struggle, you clean them all out. There's not much underneath, except Reece Stanley.
And really, their list peaked the same time as the Dogs list did, and we cleaned out a year before them, and they held on to their older players for that extra year.
Yeah.
Well, it was worth them holding on to some of the older players, because obviously Revolt's playing decent football, but
You're not a
Suze.
like Melbourne and just absolutely clean out. You do need some players,
Yeah, get rid of James McDonald.
but they really held on to a few list cloggers a year too long, I think, and it's cost them. I think Carlton are in the same position, really. I think Malthouse first year, he kept a few players he shouldn't have.
He did. They got sucked in by that finals appearance and then the win. They rebuilt 1 year too late.
Oh, I'm just
So
watching the Lacroix hit. That was bad.
Yeah, so that gets 1 week, yet Jones gets 2, so get fucked.
That's the same thing. It was exactly the same thing. That's great.
We can compare the fact that Daniel Merritt got 2 weeks for something that was worth about 4, and McKernan the year before got 2 weeks. Yeah, it's just I don't understand how blokes that actually snipe can get 2.
Did Jones have carryover points?
No, it's his first offence for Jonesy.
Who hit Wingard? He's number 4 for Fremantle. That's
It was Duffield.
did he get a week?
No, he got
No,
off.
Oh,
get
for
off?
fuck's sake! You're fucking kidding me. He got off.
What about Murphy? Did he get up for his hit on Rui?
no, they called it. He couldn't get out of the way. That he got.
Basically, they went, it's Murphy, there's no way it would have hit hard, so... They didn't even look at the footage, they just laughed and went, Murphy.
But did you see Revolt go down? He had his legs sticking in the air. It was quite bizarre. And he hurt his neck on.
Let's move on to Essendon. The Vultures seem to be circling. Seems to be the gist of things. And
Oh yeah, there's been a number of articles written about the Bombers just wanting the penalties to come out from Asada and they're not getting any answers back.
Well, apparently there's 40 players about to get sanctioned and 17 from Cronulla. So
They've got to get the
interestingly,
show letters, don't they?
yeah. So just on tonight, there was on the Dogs board, someone's got Amanda Cremary on Facebook, and she's had a bit of a rant. She's not happy.
Is she
So
hot?
I don't know, man. I have to look. You can have a look for yourself, man.
Okay.
So this is from Amanda Cremary. I have my boxing gloves on today. I have come out fighting. We have to fight what Asada will throw at us, the wrath of Essendon club and supporters, umpire, the media, and opposition coaches.
Sounds like Plugger.
It is.
Tanya
This is the
too.
ongoing battle my family have every day. We have stood up for the Western Bulldogs, and we can now see the increments of improvement. So that goes against the Essendon supporters sooking about, oh, Cremary wishes he was still with us. And then she goes on about she's over all the sooking about the free kicks, because I know Ruzi, again on Monday night, had a big sook about the Cremary free kick.
What does
That's
she
very
what
Plugger-esque,
does she
isn't
look
it?
like? What does
Oh,
she
yeah.
look like? Is she hot?
I sent you the link. Have a look for yourself, man. Looks blonde.
Okay,
from what I
have a
can
look.
tell.
Hang on.
But again, if Teach thinks that Boomer's missus is good looking, then he's obviously got pretty low standards.
If
But yeah, no, it seems that they're hovering, and the Essendon people are getting defensive. Anything else on Cramry, Essendon?
Cramry lady or
Well, anything, Dan.
Well, I'll come back to you once I've had a look.
Anyway, let's move on to, well, this is something a little bit left field, but I managed to catch Cozzy on open mic, and he was asked...
Was he actually conscious during that?
It's hard to tell with Cozzy, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
He didn't
but-
fall over and crack his head on the floor.
No, he didn't. He was surprisingly,
Lucid.
yeah. But no, he doesn't speak the quickest of anyone, but he seemed pretty open about it, what he was saying. But he said that he was cooked sometime in his last season. He was refreshingly honest about that, Mike said.
Was he a turkey?
I'd say potato, Teach. But yeah, he said he was cooked, and when Mike praised the honesty, he said he reckons the AFL should have an honesty round where people say everything that they think, no bullshit, basically. You know, none of this, we're 1 week at a time, or, St Kilda are a tough team to play against, or, that kind of thing. So what are our thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's a great idea because I'm completely sick of the cliches and every single player that gets interviewed says exactly the same thing. So I'd love to hear honesty.
The closest thing we've got to honesty around in recent times is the occasional whack at Essendon from other clubs.
The worst thing about that, though, is it's the media themselves. They all want a soundbite.
Yeah, they tear someone down who expresses an opinion. Like Carlisle says that the Brisbane player's a fuckwit, and, well, that's news.
And
you know.
also, that was done off air, supposedly, yet they leak it out anyway. So the biggest problem with that is the fuckwits in the media.
They want them not to be robots, and then they crucify them when they're not.
They sensationalise everything. I mean, it's just bullshit.
And let's not pretend that we don't contribute to this ourselves in all the shit we...
We don't give a shit, though. We're not going to get on the Herald Sun
No,
and be
we
that
don't.
outraged, concerned citizen.
unless you teach.
My kids heard this.
You get stuck in a Gary Ablett. But no, you're right. We're not like that. And I just thought it was interesting that that's how it's gone. That someone actually feels that honesty around is a necessary thing.
Well, players are probably too scared to be too refreshing like Acker was, and you end up getting leading teams like sort of bullshit from your teammates.
He's like the other end of the spectrum, though.
Yeah, he
So
fucked
far-
up. He told, who was it that had the cracked ribs, and he let it out before the grand final.
Yeah.
Well, that happened, yeah.
Yeah, there's some things you don't tell.
There's sometimes you keep your mouth shut and
Yeah.
you're not honest, and there's other times where you cannot be a robot. I'm trying to think of someone who actually fits that medium, but there's obviously no current players like that.
The only one I ever had was when Griffin was an 18-year-old or something like that, and he was interviewed, and he said Richmond gave up, and then
Everyone jumped on him.
That was a game where we won by 100 and something points, and he told the truth, and he's been very quiet ever since.
Clarko came out, I think it was last year, and said that coaches should do a apprenticeship, and he was having a big crack at James Hird, straight in as a
he
senior
did.
coach. Yeah, he's all right for some honesty, the old Clarko.
But I think there was almost a concerted effort over the course of the last year and a half just to whack Essendon at any opportunity because of how defiant they were being. Everyone else just threw a little gasoline on that fire just to, show that no one's biting by it. Because he basically said that. That was about the Coaches Association. Anyway, we have the top 5 things we would like to see in the honesty round. Number 5, paddles.
Tim Watson comes out and says Jab should lose his Brownlow.
Number 4, Carlton admit that they were better off with Ratton. They didn't move Malthouse at all. Number 3, Les.
Yeah, the Hawks, we love the cash, but we're sick of Tassie.
Number 2, Teach.
I've made a huge mistake.
No, you haven't.
impacting North for
Well,
the
you
flag.
have, but this is
Lol
your fault.
teach.
This is honesty round.
And number one, Ant.
Port admit they're on the drugs.
I'd love if it was actually true that if they were on the drugs.
Well, it's going to be the first week where Caro will be quoting Bothk. That's come full circle. Does Bothk have a lisp?
Bothk.
Don't be silly. Stop it.
But since we're talking about Port and we're talking about
Stop
Bothk, let's move on to this week on the Bay, because I think Thread of the Week and Flog of the Week both fall in.
Well, I'll start on that thread because I saw that as a pretty crap.
I think we all did, like, to begin with.
Really, it was a bit of a fear thread from Mr. Bothk.
It was a definite fear thread.
He was a bit worried Port are going to touch him up, so he's gone the drug angle. And
Preemptive moral victory.
he was getting hit from all and sundry from everyone else, and then Marto and co just went meltdown. And they weren't joking because there were some reported posts I saw. So.
There were a lot of reported posts from a lot of Port Adelaide supporters I've never seen on the Bay.
Did they just fucking melt down? It was just, this is an everyday post or thread from Bothk. He does that every fucking week about Geelong, and he's done it about Port, and they have melted like a fucking Antarctic iceberg under massive sun.
I think what makes it funnier is the fact that it was a Port troll and they got sucked in. It wasn't even one of those clever ones where you just go, oh, if someone bites, it's well played. It was just kind of like, it was so easy to refute, and yet they're all like, you're a fuckwit.
Or the other side of this is they always melt like this, but it's always in a West Horsham thread. We never read it.
Well, that's
maybe
the
that's
other
true.
thing. It's kind of refreshing to see a shit fight between two teams two sets of posters that usually don't bicker amongst each other.
I got to be honest though, was anyone else concerned by the fact that Bothk knows the exact size of Ollie Wines' thighs?
No.
It's funny because he probably would have melted in that thread, because all that has to happen is Hadouken's has got to post in a Bothk thread and he gets enraged because he just can't stand it. Like when Hadouken posts in a thread, he gets the red mist up, but then in comes Marto with the meltdown and thread saved.
It's very funny because we've had Marto on the vlogcast,
Yeah,
and we thought that he was just a regular Bayite, and he just rolls with the punches, and he seemed to go like that on the vlogcast, but he fucking melted.
We don't discriminate here. We are picking one of our own for Flog of the Week this week with Marto.
Well, I think Stronzo picked it. Excuse me. He said basically, and I agree, like Marto's bit, that he's kind of taken a step back and realised he's taken a bite, and then bit again harder. I was like, if I was going, I'm going to go the whole hog.
Seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe being on top of the ladder has just set their nerves off.
Yeah, they don't know what it's like to be targeted by anyone other than Adelaide.
A bit precious, those West Horshamites.
It's his new territory. But was that Thread of the Week and Flog of the Week? Marto, Flog of the Week, Thread of the Week, Bothk's Port Adelaide on drugs.
It'll
What
be good
about,
viewing after the game, no matter who wins.
Yes, it will be.
What about the Rhapsody, the Viney Rhapsody? I absolutely enjoy that thread.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a crack.
Yes, I love that too.
I sang it to myself and it was just brilliant.
That can be Thread of the Week. Marto can be Flog.
Sorry, boss.
Yeah, that's just pure boss trolling, isn't it? You get him up and then just take him away.
He's not going to be happy with me.
And it was you. There's no goo here.
Yeah.
Reverse goo.
But also last week's poll as well, which was, more diverse than usual. We didn't actually nominate our Flog of the Week last week, so we got the flogs to decide based on some of the nominations. And, 13.5% said Tyre Boys, 10% said Pav, 7.5% said All the Cats flogs, 29% said Even Jack Watts finds Cats and Hawks Cries of Injury Trolls soft, and the winner with 40% though, All the Hawthorn flogs, which overwhelming really. Short delivered on that one, Short wins. And yeah, we'll move on to next week, which starting with Thursday night in Adelaide, Collingwood versus the Crows. Tex is back, Mullet's back.
Oh, I'm glad to see the Mullet's back. He's one of my favourite players,
Yeah, I like watching him play.
even though he plays for the fucking Crows.
There's a bit of Carey in him, I reckon.
You mean players' wives and toilets and things like that?
No, he's penchant for glass drink.
There's a bit of Kerry and Kelly Stevens too.
The mullet's gone, though, hasn't it?
Oh, how fucking hot was Kelly Stevens? Ooh.
Oh, now you got.
Have you found crap picture yet?
So it hasn't taken a Dan avatar to get Teach off topic. It's just, another North Melbourne wife.
But I've got got to say, it's probably going to take him at least a few weeks to get back into the swing of things. So I can't see them beating Collingwood. I think Collingwood are going to roll them.
He would have been better off with a softer team to play against, like Carlton.
Where's the game?
Yeah, it's at Adelaide Oval.
In Adelaide, but I think
And
Collingwood...
They don't get the same kind of loud crowd there for the Crows game.
Well, they haven't won a game there yet, have they?
They beat the Giants there, but that's it. They've won 1 of 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, Melbourne have a better win ratio than Adelaide there.
I'm tipping Collingwood.
Yeah, Collingwood for me, even with Tex back.
Pies for me.
Yeah, the Scum.
I'm gonna go the Crows.
Fucking Scum again, Paddles. Jesus. Get off that fucking bike, mate. For God's sake.
We're going to have to do something about this. I'm not sure. We're going to have to have an intervention on Paddles calling them the Scum.
I think so. Yeah.
Moving on to the Colas versus the Scum on Friday night. Look, based on last week, Essendon weren't very good against Brisbane. Sydney were pretty good against Hawthorn. Although the smaller ground might suit Essendon, because I think Sydney actually got a bit more of an advantage out of Buddy.
And Tippett on the larger ground with more space.
Last week.
They're one of the interstate teams that actually goes all right at the Dome like the Crows do.
Yeah, because the SCG is a small ground, so I agree as well. Sydney are going to smash them.
I think the Scum are going to still have this cloud hanging over their head about the drug sanctions, and they're just going to get smashed by the Collars.
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
As much as I hate to say it, that forward line worked pretty well last week.
I wonder who Bosk's going for this week.
Ooh, geez, that's a tough call.
No, he'd be going for Sydney this week.
He's going to be enraged and he's going to be happy, both at the same time.
He'll go
might
for
actually,
Sydney, but he wants Buddy to kick 1 goal 8 or something like that. Then he'd be happy.
Also, did anyone notice that he's getting torn a new one on the Hawthorn board? Apparently they don't buy into his Port Adelaide theory. Don't know why.
Oh, really?
So the only person who buys into it is Marto.
He might actually turn up to the ground and let off a couple of bombs, nail bombs, in both of the change
Come
rooms.
on.
Well, he hates them both, so he just do it for both of them. And,
Allah.
yeah. Well, he's not Muslim, but he
Oh, what would he say before setting off the detonator?
Fuck you all.
yes, he would go, fuck you,
He'll call them-
Collins.
He'll call them filthy flogs.
Yeah, filthy.
No, call him filthy fags. He'll fit a homophobic reference in there too.
Filthy, remember, man?
Filthy, yes, filthy, of course.
Yeah, it just might do that. So if it happens and we're watching the TV, you know who's done it.
Yeah, this one's for everyone, was it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm tipping this one.
All right, the next game is it Richmond Melbourne?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'll win.
I'm not too sure on that because I still don't rate you guys, Fyfe. And
But do you rate Melbourne?
well, Melbourne, even though Ruse is sooking it up right now, he has brought some structure to their game. Their defence is very good now, and their key position players up forward are actually starting to work. So
Dawes is playing well.
yeah, Dawes and Frawley as well. So they got
Where's
some
this going to
structure.
play?
MCG.
So they've got some structure now. So I'm a bit on the fence on this one. I reckon it'll be a tight one. Melbourne.
So
I-
Fyfie, apparently Delidio managed to negotiate his way out of the suspension.
He did. He got it down from.
What a fucking ridiculous result that was, because he's gone the elbow, Stokes has gone the elbow, Stokes has gone, yeah, I'll cop it, and Delidio goes, oh, no, I didn't do it, and this wasn't on purpose, it was an accident.
Yeah, he didn't mean to elbow him in the face. He meant to elbow him in the chest, and because of minimal contact, he got off. Stokes punched Morris in the head.
Well, he's got such a punchable head, why wouldn't you do it?
Well, Teach, to be fair to Delidio, I mean, he took the punt by going to the tribunal and he won.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
he could have got an extra week.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you know,
Well, because of that, Richmond are going to win.
He didn't do the craft French option and lay down. But yeah, I think we'll win.
I have 800% confidence Richmond will win. You've got to tip the better team. That's Richmond.
Tigers for me.
I actually reckon Melbourne will win.
Why?
Because I kick more.
A few weeks ago, I was-
Because you're an angry little fuck, that's why. You call Collingwood the Scum every week.
North versus the
No.
Brions. Well, this one North are expected to win, but I think they actually do win this time as opposed to the Gold Coast game.
Yeah, it would take a miracle for Chris. Sorry, Paddles, but it would take a miracle.
The bandwagon will explode if they lose this.
I reckon
Premiership
Petrie will kick at least 2
favourites.
goals this week.
The Premiership favourites will smash the Brions this week.
the only way
And
we'll
the
win
bandwagon-
How,
The back axle of the bandwagon will just kick back into line and we'll go full steam ahead on the highway.
It's been in the repair shop this week. It's back.
It has been. But
Just
we're-
on Petrie, how many goals is he averaging this year?
Well, he hasn't played many bottom 8 teams yet.
Oh, probably less. What, half a goal? I don't know.
Listen, I'm driving the fucking bandwagon. I'm not looking over my shoulder about how many goals people are kicking. I'm just full steam ahead, and we're back on the highway this.
That's all right, 'cause we're keeping a close eye on how many goals he's kicked.
I'm hoping he doesn't kick a bag this week.
Well, you want Brisbane to make the finals?
Well, it's They might as well make the finals too, Fyfie, because just about everybody else will. With Petrie's form.
Oh, the 8 is taking shape at the moment. There are 2 teams out of the running, including Fremantle, who we will come to next if everyone's done their tips.
North Melbourne.
But North, I think I've picked them correctly once this year.
Same.
They win the games they shouldn't, and they fuck up the ones they should.
Yeah, we're doing that on
think they'll
purpose
win
just to piss people off.
Just to troll Teach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fucking crazy and it's doing my head in.
North by a mile, but anything wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, North for me.
They couldn't lose, surely. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a shame
Oh,
that we can't keep the roof open.
Find a way.
If that's all the tips, we'll move on to Fremantle versus Geelong.
Oh, purple puffs.
Is this at Cardinia Park?
No, it's not. So Geelong might win.
It's the
Where
Puffer
is it?
Dome.
It's at the non-Goo Stadium, Patterson's.
I'm going to go the Dockers here. I'm going to go out on a limb. I reckon Geelong on form should smash them, but I think Ross Lyon's going to get them angry, get them defensive, get them boring, and they're going to win by a couple of points. It's going to be a shit game.
I think it's going to be a shit game, and I reckon Geelong will sneak over the line. But I do agree with you. Fremantle will drag them down this week.
Freo is shadow of the team they were last year, and I think Geelong's got the form, and I think they'll get the win this week.
Teach is waiting.
Yeah, he always waits.
I'm going for the Docker this week. I just got a feeling.
But didn't Teach at the start of the year say his team's going to get mediocre and finish 12th?
He also said North would win the flag.
Yeah.
I just like getting you to repeat that.
Paddles, did you tip? You have to tip before
Oh, yeah,
Teach says
Geelong.
anything.
All right, you all finished your fuckers?
Yeah.
Cats will win this by about 30 points, and Hawkins will kick 5 or 6, and Selwood will have 40 touches. So
Do you think Crowley's going to go to Johnson?
Well, no, he'll go to Selwood because
He ain't getting 40 touches if Crowley goes to him.
well, I mean, he'll get ironed out by fucking Johnson. So, you know.
Selwood hasn't had 20 touches in the last month, though, has he? In a game? No, I'm going the Docker.
Well, I couldn't give a fuck what you go. The cats will win this because I think that Fremantle are in a real malaise. There's something wrong with them, and they're not the same side that they were last year.
They're sick of playing boring football.
Yeah, and the Cats know how to play them. Let's face it, it's not finals, so they won't beat us. So it's home and away, and it doesn't mean anything, so we're going to beat them.
All right, move on then to St Kilda versus Gold Coast. Gold Coast for me. St Kilda might probably get a moral victory.
I think the moral winners will be Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah,
Metricon, is it?
No, it's at Etihad.
Won't
I think
matter.
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast will smash them.
Gold Coast beat North there 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah, Gold Coast will win.
Yep.
Gaz will get another 3 votes.
I reckon St Kilda's Drew Petrie will have another bad game.
What are you talking about?
Reece Stanley.
Yeah, Reece Stanley, of course.
But he doesn't kick goals against anyone. He just racks up a lot of super coach points.
True. I take that back. Yeah, I would have Petrie over Stanley in my team.
Yeah, we hang a lot of crap on Petrie, but that's just cruel.
Yeah.
It's uncalled for.
So
I'd have Meister in my team over Stanley.
Well, he was in the team over Stanley for about 2 years.
So we
He's
all
playing
think
for Sandy at the
Gold-
moment.
we all think that the Gold Coast are going to win this.
Yep.
And if they do,
Be
it's
6-3, won't they?
It's pretty much assured that they are going to play finals. And I think that you
It's already assured. Petrie only kicked 1 goal.
tipped it at the start of the year, Fyfie, that they were going to break through and play finals this year, and that looks like it's going to happen.
I actually
Well, they
think
are the
that-
best
oh,
Queensland team.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to tip the Suns, but I think this game will be close.
Well, that's more than most of us can say, I think. Anyway, we can end with, well, Tom Fyfie.
Sad news. Very sad.
Yeah, very sad.
Who remembers Tom Fyfie? I mean, I do.
Me.
Well, that's because you're an old bastard, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But
Well, you don't have to be that old to remember him.
Yeah.
He was fit as a fiddle, you know. Well, he lived in Beaumaris, just up the road from me, and he would do his runs every morning and go for his swims, and he was a machine.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm so shocked that he's
Well, it
passed.
just goes to show how much of a cruel thing cancer can be when someone as fit as him can succumb to something like this, even though he was a relatively old sort of guy. I mean, he was, as you said, he was super fit. Like, he treated his body like a temple.
Yeah, didn't drink, didn't smoke. Just did everything you really should do. And then, yeah, like ending that way. No, I don't think anyone expected that would happen. Like, most people, I think, assumed he'd go to 100.
one of the things that came out on the radio in the last couple of days, a player, I didn't know his name. He used to play for Richmond, and he only played a few games, and he played under Tommy. And Tommy gave him the news that he was cut from the team. And he said, mate, you do not have the capability to play VFL football. You're just not up to it. He said, however, you have everything in your kit bag and you are completely capable at succeeding at life. And the guy never played football again at the highest level, but he actually ran his own business and became immensely successful. And Tommy kept in touch with him the whole time. That's what he was like. He just took interest in people. Even though they left the football club afterwards, he didn't lose interest in people after that.
That seems to be the common story about him too, that's how it went. So yeah, it's just shocking and it's kind of disappointing, especially because he probably wouldn't have been that far off perhaps legend status as a coach in the Hall of Fame, and then probably even a statue at Punt Road, considering they're looking at adding more of those. So he didn't make it to that, unfortunately. Just some kind of extra recognition for a guy who thoroughly deserved it.
Well, just an extraordinary life.
Great man.
And, let's face it, I mean, it's a celebration. I mean, he lived a long and fruitful life, and everybody who's involved in football and loves football has got nothing bad to say about Tommy Fyfie, and just got good memories about him.
Yeah. Like, we take the piss a lot here, but that's one guy who was just beyond trolling. You couldn't say anything but positive things about him. He got the best out of himself, and he seemed like a top bloke too.
No, a great man, and he lived a great life. So a celebration, not a commiseration.
But yeah, I think that's just about everything.
Finishing on a somber note.
Yeah, well, we usually finish with some laughs, so this is a bit different.
Yeah.
Oh, do we want to have a swear fest at the end again?
Nah, I think we can just finish reasonably.
No, you can tone down the Tourette's there, Teach.
So yeah, this was the Flogcast for round 9. Fyfie joined by Ant.
See you later, guys.
Paddles.
Bye.
Dan.
You got any Skittles left?
No.
Oh, sharing's caring.
Teach.
Good night.
And for his first episode, Les Norton.
See you guys, and I'm sorry, Bothk, about the post of the week. But anyway.
No, he's not sorry.
He's not. He's really not.
You should hear what he said about you off air, man. I'll PM you later, boss.
We had to take out all the Bothk likes this jokes like the Wrangler used to make us do.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for listening and we'll see you next week.
Happy Mother's Day.
Also, sorry Mardo, but you really did deserve it.